Hello everyone, welcome to Relax, Restore, Reconnect Sunday series. It is a Monday, yes, apologize for that, but the weather is beautifully grey and then dark, doesn't look like summer at all, and perhaps this is a perfect time to really find a pose where we kind of surrender into the pose and totally relax. And after even a full moon yesterday, where we sometimes feel a bit less energy, maybe busy weekend as bars and restaurants have opened, perhaps this is a perfect timing to really try this pose. So now it is sort of a gentle inversion in restorative yoga. So I would kind of suggest if it's your first pregnancy, perhaps avoid it. If you've got any kind of eye pressure or glaucoma or anything you suffer like this, I would avoid this pose. If it's the fluctuation in high blood pressure or if it's the neck issue. Now with the neck, it's something that you can support, or if you try to get into the pose and you feel that something it doesn't feel right, please come out of it. It is a very gentle and should kind of meet to any needs or anyone who, or actually everyone, but have a common sense in terms of when you feel that something doesn't feel right, just come out of it. So perhaps you have tried a pose legs up to the wall. So this is a sort of similar Viparani Karani, but legs onto the chair, which I feel is actually extra comfortable. Now we've got a bolster as well, and that bolster will help slightly elevate your hips, so the sacrum goes onto the bolster, and then you lie down so your chin will be below your heart. Now that, when it happens, when we position ourselves this way, we're starting to stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, and that's where it helps our nervous system to calm down. If we feel like we are overworked, over anxious, this helps us to calm us down, and then we feel less anxious. So let me just introduce the props first. So there is a blanket. The blanket is actually, it's a folded in twice, just to have a nice support for your shoulders. You could try it without, but once you start using a blanket for the shoulders as well, you'll see the difference in the comfort. So just to remind you that this is a restorative pose and you want to feel 100% comfortable into your body in order to stay in a pose for a long time. We normally would stay between 10 to 20 minutes, even longer if you have time, to really start feeling the pose, and then from the pose you start feeling the body as it starts relaxing and softening into the body, and that's where the benefits begins. So we've got cushion, I've got an eye pillow as well today, and then just come down onto the mat, and then we've got this lovely rectangular bolster, which is one of my favorites, which you can use on lots of different poses. So we'll get to it weekly, how we can use it as well. And then chair, which is the Iyengar chair, which is the professional chair, which is fantastic and foldable, but you can use any chair, preferably not too high. And then we've got a blanket. So the blanket is for when you position your legs and then your feet at the end, and relieving a space for your heels. You want it to feel kind of comfort there. And then again, I always say that within a minute when you're in a pose and you feel that you try to fidget or there is something not right, you know that you need to to adjust, that you're not 100% comfortable. So it's always kind of moving and exploring what really works for the body. So the way I would get into the pose is from the front. So you have your one of the hip side towards the chair, and then so kind of make your hand onto the floor so you're supporting yourself, and then start moving the knees towards the chair. And then we'll, first of all, now this is a little tricky to get onto it, so you can do one leg at a time, depends. Now if you don't have a bolster, you can have a nice folded blanket as well. So now you start kind of adjusting. So this is a kind of important part to adjust. So you want to have the 90 degrees angle, but you want to start also feel that your knees are supported, and then your heels, you'll feel the difference as well. So not heels or the calves onto your heels onto the chair, but outside of the chair. Now you can kind of move the bolster. Now you can see I've got a nice blanket, so it nicely, it's under my shoulder as well. So with the hair you can come either closer, or as you see you've got it just slightly away from the feet, but that feels quite comfortable today. Now I adjust my cushion. So I always say that the cushion is so important, or the blanket, to adjust for your, so it supports your head, it supports your neck, especially your C7, which is your cervical 7. And also, so you have, when you're supporting your C7, it will gives you a space around your neck. Now here we can very slightly tack the chin towards our chest, so you don't want to do too much so you feel tension into the shoulders, and then we don't want to go high with the chin towards the ceiling. So just adjust that, move the feet up and down, just see what it feels like. Maybe the knees like to go slightly apart. Sometimes I feel that there is opening into the knees, or the feet wants to go to externally, and that's okay. And now, once you find this comfort, I have another blanket, very soft one, and this is if you decided to be in a pose for quite some times, if you allow yourself to be there for a few minutes, maybe 10, maybe even longer, I would suggest to have a blanket, because you'll feel super, oh, that feels really nice. And some of my students, they might recognize this blanket, so you know how super soft it is. And then, so whenever you're ready, now if that feels maybe that you position yourself and you don't want to stand up, and you said, I just wanted to stay there, but maybe you feel that your head is not supported enough, that maybe your head could go slightly a little bit higher. Now you'll take your hands and then you start rolling this blanket, not outside, but to inside. And then we kind of just think of a, maybe rolling into sausage or something, and then you go under. Ooh, that feels really nice. And then just go a little bit more. You will still have a supported of shoulders, so you can stop here around just below. And then, maybe that feels even nicer. Okay, so if you got your eye pillow, darkness in a kind of relaxing restorative poses are one of the element that will relax even more. I know it's not for everyone, but I didn't like it at the beginning, but it's a kind of new discovery if you don't like this eye pillow. But see if you could try maybe another time, and then just explore different times, different things. One day without the eye pillow, another time with the eye pillow. So give yourself one big inhale and exhale. And now as you're exhaling here, I want you to feel as you're sinking your sacrum, your pelvic floor towards the bolster. And start slowly relaxing. And feel perhaps where you can use your breath to direct to. Maybe you're feeling that you've been standing on your legs for a long time and they feel tired. And you can start visualizing the blood flow floating from the top of your toes all the way down throughout your legs, your calves and your knees, all the way through your thighs towards your hips, towards your sacrum. Or sometimes you feel anxious. The shoulder might have bothered you for a while, for a few days. But perhaps you haven't stopped for weeks and you haven't allowed yourself the joy of not doing. Just feel if that each breath you take and then each exhale, and with each exhalation, see if you let go of any tension more and more, and releases slowly by slowly each inch of your tension of your body, releasing and leaving your body slowly by slowly. And with each breath you take, feel as you start softening into the pose, sinking into the bolster, surrendering it, your whole body into this pose, and start letting go of every tension that body can accumulate. And stay there with me. Don't get up. It's time for your mind and your body to give yourself that gift of letting go. And maybe even imagine it. Place. A happy place. Location. Holiday spot. Where your memory takes you there. Feel the sound of the ocean. Feel the warmth on your skin. Feel the softness into your skin. As you're feeling that sense of relaxation, that sense of calm. So wherever that place is, your happy, calm place, peaceful place, see if you can stay there for the next 10-15 minutes and allow yourself to be. Enjoy this present moment you've got. So when you feel that you're ready to come back to this real world, and you feel rested, maybe you can even give yourself a nice little stretch with your arms over your head. And then take that eye pillow, oh, very bright suddenly, onto the side, and then it will safely come out of the coast. So let's remove the blanket first, and I would suggest you place your feet, even maybe your arches onto your feet or heels onto your chair, and then slowly lift your sit bones. Don't slip, and even move that bolster onto the side. Lower Let's sit bones onto your mat. And now we're going to come up onto the side. So slowly drop your feet. Now if that feels comfortable, you could just extend your bottom arm. So if you're rolling onto your right side, you can extend your right arm. And if you stay there for longer, just make sure that you're coming out of the pose mindfully, slowly. And take your time to come up. Depends on the time of the day you practice. Sometimes the light could be quite intense. So, and then come up. So hope you feel different, rested. Even you might initially feel like your head spins, or well, sometimes when you waking up, when we are waking up, we need a time. So always take slow, always take time to come out of these longer restorative poses. And hope you have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you next week.